are now ready to begin Detroit. Remember, this is not just a story. This is our future.
Hello and welcome to our first ever Spoilercast. We are going to be talking about Detroit Become Human because we both just beat that, and we needed to talk about it. There's so much to break down in this game, and there's so many details and plot points that we wanted to get into. So we decided we're gonna do a Spoilercast
instead of just like talking until like 3 a.m.
One
day, just actually putting it out there as just like we need to talk about this, and it would be great for the channel to do this. And
absolutely,
we've never done it before, so
exactly, it's something kind of new here. And I mean, you have a list, so
I have a list because
let's hop into it.
I just want to start with this is easily the best game I've ever played.
Really,
it is
favorite
game of all time. I was able to hop into it, and it kept me going the entire time. And it's not even necessarily action-driven, because that's not the game at all.
No.
It's entirely, it pulls you in with an interesting story, and it was, a lot of times, games try to, like, get you to either relate to a character or feel for a character, and it falls flat. But this was the most natural feeling.
Human.
It was oddly human.
It was,
And an interesting concept that I thought of was, you're meant to play as these androids who do not conceptualize feelings. They don't conceptualize, these are my orders. I do them, and I have to do them without emotion, and I don't think about things like this. But it's interesting to have you controlling that, because you are a human playing this.
Yeah.
You think with emotion, and you think with like, oh, this isn't right. I'm going to stop this.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting dynamic to have a game based completely on don't register emotion here.
Yeah.
But you can't keep it out of there. And I think that was an interesting concept of how human are you when you're playing it.
There was an interesting dynamic where part of you is kind of wanting to make the choices you think that character might make, and then also the choices of like, what do I want to do though?
Exactly.
Like, what do I personally want to do? And it's like the world they created, the way it was like immediately it was like, this is how the world is. Like, it didn't need to explain this whole like big backstory about it. Was like, you're in this world now, and it all just organically worked. It just made sense.
And how it fit the story just through not even environmental storytelling, kind of,
sort of,
but in a way that you just saw these interactions and you could immediately grasp onto years of this happening.
It wasn't far-fetched.
No, not at all. So let's get right into spoilers here.
Yep. Again, if you haven't played Detroit Become Human,
do not watch this.
Do not watch it at all.
Play the game.
Spoilercast. Play the game. If you want to go back, you want to replay another thing.
I genuinely recommend, like, if you have not played through Detroit, and I mean, this is, awful for us because we're telling people to not watch our videos and not give us views and interactions.
Right.
But don't.
I
want everyone to experience this game.
It's worth it
because it was captivating.
It's so good. It's so good.
It's the best story I've come across.
Best. Yeah, one of the best stories for me. Like, the graphics are incredible. The performances are incredible. Go play the game if you haven't played it yet. You've been warned. We can get into it now.
Okay.
Go for it.
So let's start heavy right off the bat.
Go for it.
In your playthrough, who died and who lived?
Oh, okay. In my playthrough, Kara died, and so did the little girl.
Okay, how did it happen?
When we were exiting Jericho.
That's the same thing. That is the exact same thing that
happened
to me.
It gave you like the options, like play dead or like whatever when they were shooting you out the thing, and I was like, I'm going to save that little girl. And then they just fucking iced us both.
Yeah, they killed her. They killed her. Yeah. And I did not expect her to be an android. That was the one that really threw me for a loop.
So what's the little girl's name again?
Alice.
Alice. Yeah, when she turned out to be an android. And like, you kind of had that hint when you were searching Todd's bedroom earlier on. And you can find like these papers. And it doesn't show you the papers, but it shows Kara's face kind of like, what is this? And it was showing children androids and that kind of thing.
And it made sense for me because I played this game with my girlfriend who, she enjoys stories and video games like
But doesn't
more so,
pull-
but doesn't necessarily play through like RPG games or anything.
Right.
And this, like, she was telling me, like, no, you can't play this until I get back. So, like, because I want to watch this.
Because the
And
story it grips you so bad.
Exactly. So it's like, you have to wait because I want to see what happens.
Yeah.
Like, even if you're the one controlling it, I want to see what happens.
Right. Yeah.
And she was actively, like, helping me with decisions and everything. I'm just like, ooh, what do I want to do here?
Yeah.
But that one threw me for a loop with
Yeah.
Alice being an android, but it makes sense because at the beginning of our playthrough, when we were kind of talking about like when Alice's father was like abusing her and just going off, and this isn't the life you wanted, huh? That's why your mom left for an accountant.
Yeah.
And we were both just like, why would the mom leave and not take the daughter with her?
Yeah.
Like, what person would do that? But then it makes sense. She had no attachment to this thing.
Yeah.
So it was either just, you know, they got her to try to like repair a marriage or like to have something for the both of
Right.
them, or like she left and he needed something.
That's interesting. I kind of took that in a different way. I kind of thought, what if the mom left and did take the daughter and he bought a replacement daughter?
Okay, that's another really good thought.
That's what I was thinking. Like as that went through, I was like, oh, I wonder if he like bought a replacement or something like that, because that would.
Now that I'm thinking about it, it totally makes sense. We never saw Alice eat. You put food in front of her like 3 times,
Yeah.
and she never ate.
Yeah.
Like
All the little clues were there.
everything was there, but that one was the one that threw me for a loop.
Yeah.
The other thing that threw me for a loop was Andrea being not a real person, but just programming inside of Connor to try to keep him on task and not go deviant in the mission. And my girlfriend had seen that. Like, she was just like, I don't think Andrea is real. I think Andrea is just like a piece of Connor because we never see him go there. And I was like, what? No, she works for CyberLife. Like,
He
this
does
is
kind
his
of
immediate
he does kind
reporter.
of just appear there though.
Yeah. And then there's the one scene where it kind of reveals that, where he's just like there and then he opens his eyes.
Yeah.
And his LED goes back to blue. And it's just like, holy shit.
Yeah, it's like
You
a mental
were right.
check-in.
Yeah, all it is his program just basically running a diagnostic.
Yeah.
So when you're betraying Andrea, you're betraying your programming.
Yeah.
And you're just progressively going more and more deviant.
Which is, I mean,
Genius.
it's genius. And we've talked about this, but I feel like we should put it up front. Your favorite, Connor.
Connor.
Connor's
It's Connor.
Connor's the boy.
Connor is absolutely the most adorable thing on planet Earth. I love him. I have a crush on Connor.
I have a crush on Connor too.
I loved Connor from the very first mission where you're doing the hostage. Like, one, I love investigative games.
Yeah.
Like LA Noire, like, and things like that. I love that shit where
Yeah.
it's just like investigate the clues around you, put it together. We'll kind of guide you along by giving you clues, but then try to piece it together.
Yeah.
Try to figure it out. Where's your next step?
And the way it doesn't hold your hand is like, go and explore. Like, you're under the clock right now. If you want to explore, you can. If you want to get out there, you can.
But you'd be better equipped if
Right.
you did this.
Right.
Which makes sense. And I loved that. I absolutely loved the investigative style of
Yeah.
the game. And that's what kept me like, and I feel kind of bad because yes, Kara had just a compelling story. It was
Yeah.
gorgeous. And it was a beautiful like look at just everyone accepted Alice as human.
Yeah.
So why could they not accept other androids as human?
Right.
Like Alice was your looking glass into they can be humans.
Right.
They are alive.
Right.
But fuck, what was I even saying?
Kara's compelling story.
Kara's compelling story. What I felt bad because I would be like, as soon as a Connor mission was over and it would show Kara, I'm like, oh,
I know.
I don't care. Like, I care, but just bring me back. And it was to the point of like when I was playing, like we would jokingly, whenever like it was just like heavy rainfall, you see her in Detroit, you don't know who you are yet, but then you just see like a car parked somewhere. We were applauding. We were like, yeah, Connor.
Because he's the best.
He is. And he's just got such a great voice and everything.
Oh, it's so-
The acting is so great.
I know. It goes Connor, Marcus, Kara for me.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, shout out to Luther though. Luther was dope.
Yeah. Luther was cool.
Luther was a really cool story.
Yep.
So did only Kara die in your playthrough?
Only Kara died.
Okay. So then what was your playthrough like with Connor? What happened? First, let's go. How deviant did you go? When you were at the Eden Club, the strip club, did you shoot the Tracy or did you not shoot the Tracy?
Oh, I shot her.
Oh, you shot her?
You didn't shoot her?
I did not shoot her.
Oh, wait. No,
You're fighting.
I didn't. She shot herself.
No, because I played both of those because I was curious what would happen. So I only went back once out of choice. Like I only replayed a chapter once out of choice is like I didn't like that ending.
Yeah.
I'm going to redo that.
Yeah.
And it wasn't because I died or anything. It was just because I didn't like that.
Yeah.
I went back 2 other times because I had severely fucked up. Not a quick time event, but I just pushed like out of excitement, like the wrong dialogue thing. And I immediately, like, I didn't want to see where it went.
Yeah.
I just hit the main menu and reloaded the chapter.
Yep.
So, with Connor's Deviance, I had accidentally pushed the shoot button the first time, and then it had gone through the thing, and then she shot herself because she was like, she was the only thing I loved.
Yeah.
And you took her from me and then
yep.
shot herself. And I was like, I accidentally did that.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't want to shoot her.
Yeah.
So I went back and did the, like, don't shoot, and then they got away, and that upped Connor's Deviance.
Yeah, okay, sorry. Yes, so yes, I did shoot her.
Okay.
I shot the first girl, and then the second girl shot herself.
Okay.
Yes.
So then, what was your path to Deviance like with Connor? When did you go Deviant?
I didn't go Deviant until I was on the Jericho.
Okay. So like when you're talking to Marcus?
Yep.
And then you go Deviant? So you're doing the mission up until then?
Yep, and then it was when I confronted Marcus, and then it was kind of like, he kind of did like the, don't you want to become human, or like, go give
because
me that.
That's what they're
spiel.
leading you to the whole time.
Right. And then it was at that point where it was kind of like,
and you see it and you're rooting for it.
Yeah. And I was like, it's time, because I was such a Connor fanboy, I was like, Connor can handle deviancy.
Yeah.
He'd still be collected,
Yeah,
Like,
Connor is fucking cool.
Connor's so cool.
And that was similar to what I had done, was wait until Jericho to go Deviant. I don't know if any other options were ever presented to me to go Deviant.
I think that's what's so brilliant about this game, is it doesn't do the telltale thing of like, you make a decision in The Walking Dead and Clementine will remember that action. It's like, I don't fucking know what's going to happen at all.
No, what I loved is that it would just give you, like, it wouldn't tell you what you did, but if you did something, it would give you a little unlock symbol that would come back.
The most satisfying thing, like with Kara, when I found the gun in Todd's drawer, did you find the gun?
Yes.
That gun came in handy like 6 other times, like way the fuck down the line.
I had ditched the gun after I had shot the
You can ditch the gun?
Apparently.
Oh, fuck.
I didn't have the gun after that.
Oh, I kept the gun and it came in handy a lot.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What did you do?
Like way down the line. Like later on when Kara's walking through like the pouring rain and she's trying to find a place for Alice. Mm-hmm. Which, like, thinking back on it now, you're like, oh, Alice wasn't even fucking cold. I didn't need to find a place for her.
Yeah.
I went into, like, I like clipped a fence, and I went under the fence, and some android that had been, like, abused by humans. Ralph, yeah. Okay, you found Ralph.
I found Ralph, but I didn't have a gun.
Oh, so Ralph, like, approached her, and then Kara just, like, fucking pulled out a gun on him. I also, Ralph was like, you can stay here. Ralph promises not to hurt you and stuff. And I was like, no, let's get out of here, Alice. So we ditched, and then I went and I stuck up the store with a gun.
Nice.
And I got the $40 to then go to the motel.
Oh,
And
damn.
I got to stay in the motel.
Damn, I did not want to do any of that. And that's what I love about this game, is that these choices, like, they actually design the gameplay. It's not like Walking Dead, where it's more linear and just like, oh, this person, it might impact your relationship.
Right.
Not really.
Yeah.
It doesn't really define how the story
This
will
is like
end.
such a next level version of what these types
And
of like
the programming that had to have gone into that.
incredible, like serious shout
Looking
out
at
to
the
the tech
flow
team.
charts afterwards, seeing how many different options and how many different endings there would have been, because a lot of times there were 4 different possible endings. Presumably one where you're dead,
Yep.
One where like there's something for everything.
Yeah.
And it almost killed me inside to not know
Right.
what those other endings were, but I thought it was best.
But did you, more than almost any other game, have the motivation to like, okay, I'm going to start another game now, and I want to go back and I want to make the decisions that I don't even want to make.
Yeah,
Because I need to see where this story is going to go.
Exactly. I didn't buy it. You gave it to me,
Right.
and I beat it in like 4 days.
Yeah.
Because I was just playing all night.
Yeah.
Like that game absolutely encapsulated me, just like no other game has before, because it's so. This is the game that I've always wanted.
Yeah.
It's so designed to how you play and what you would do. It was like a choose your own adventure book.
Yeah.
In the best possible way.
Yeah.
Because you couldn't look back and, oh, what would have happened? You don't know. And that's what's great.
And even like when it shows the flowcharts, like I had to get that sort of like Skyrim fan RPG kind of thing out of my head where it's like, no, I didn't miss all of that stuff. I literally could not have seen it based on what I did.
Yeah.
Like it'll show you like all of the lock stuff and you're like, oh, I as soon as I made this pivotal turn, I could not have seen any of that. That was all gone.
Mm-hmm.
And that's so cool. And yes, other games do that, but they don't do that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. No, it wasn't at the same extent.
Yeah. Now I got a question for you on this before we hop back into yours here. In the beginning, the scene with Carl, Marcus, and Leo comes in. How did that end? What did you do? How'd that scenario go out for you?
Carl had a heart attack, which I think would always happen, I believe.
And he died?
And he died.
Okay.
So Carl had a heart attack and died because Leo started fighting with me.
Did you fight him back?
No, I hadn't gone deviant.
Okay.
I did.
I went deviant there.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Yeah, no, I think I didn't even go deviant as Marcus. I think when he just like wakes up in the dumps, in like the dump yard, he is just deviant.
He's then deviant? Okay.
He's then deviant.
Yeah, I went deviant at that moment, and I still chose not to fight him because I didn't want to hurt Carl, because Carl was a good character.
Yeah, Carl was
My
fantastic. Like every supporting character was fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
I cared about every character except North.
Yep.
North was my like, I absolutely let her die in Jericho.
She lived for me, but North was one of those characters who it was a very forced relationship type thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, I was saying all of the things to not be in this relationship. And the game was like, but she's the love interest. So,
yeah, that I kept seeing, but the problem with me was just like, I was thinking the whole time, just like, yeah, she is the worst possible influence in this game.
Yeah.
But I'm going to get some android pussy.
Yeah.
I'm going to fuck that android. There's going to be quick time events while I'm having
You're going to
sex
be on
with
like the
that
little
android.
touchpad, like thrusting.
That's what I kind of imagined. I was like, let's see where this goes.
Yeah. Like,
But no, I let her die. Absolutely. Like I saved everyone else in Jericho, and then like she had fallen and I had the option to save her or jump, and I was just like, bye.
Yeah.
This was my out.
yeah. Okay. So speaking on
Because
that,
I didn't want her. My thought process was what I should have done when she offered me the detonator, I should have taken it, but I didn't.
yeah,
I should have taken it in my head, not because I wanted to do it,
because you didn't want her to have
because
it.
I didn't want her to have it.
Because you thought she was going to blow it.
I thought she was going to blow it. So
Yeah.
I was like, I can't let her have that.
Yeah.
And then she did. And then the opportunity presented itself where she would just be dead. So I was like, see ya.
Yeah. I didn't take the detonator either.
Easy way out.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like there's a different outcome for that Carl scenario, but I'm not sure.
I think he would always die, though.
Really? So another thing kind of off that is like before Marcus is going to go in for like, we're doing our final strike, this is going to be our big movement that we're going to get into, you get that scene where Marcus goes to Carl's grave and he's like,
I don't know what to do.
Yeah, like I'm lost. I don't know what to do. I miss you so bad. Like, at least that's based on what I said. What a moment that was.
Yeah.
And then you're leaving and Leo sees you and he looks up and he's like kind of scared. And you're just like, I don't got time to deal with you. Like, I'm doing a movement for a people now. Like,
Yeah.
I'm so past your petty bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
That was such a fucking moment.
Yeah. Every moment in that game was so deeply impacting. There
I
was
know.
not a moment where they like tried to get me to do something and I was just like,
It was so
see what
the
you're
game
doing.
has all these big tension moments and everything, but realistically, it's a game. It's kind of the game I've always wanted in the sense that it's a game of a lot of down moments, and that's what I always love games that do that. And it's like it's so rare, and even in movies and stuff, it's so rare that you get so many down moments.
it's
and I
great
love it.
because it's got those down moments where you can explore the environment freely. You have as much time as you want.
Yep.
But then you get those moments where it's like 3 minutes on the clock, real time.
Yep.
Do this.
Yeah. It's not
And
just
it's stressful.
It's not arbitrary though. It makes sense because it's like, okay, I just bought like Hank will go and fight that guy to like, get you access to the basement or whatever, and it's
Yep.
like, okay, I'll buy you 5 minutes.
Yeah, and it makes sense in the story. Like,
Right, and then it's
this
like,
is
okay,
when you
5
are
minutes,
on the
that's
clock.
why. Yep.
So when you are in that, kind of brings me to this. When you're in Slotkov's basement
Yep.
as Kara, did your memory get wiped?
No.
You short circuited.
Yep. No.
Okay.
No. Well, I broke out.
You broke out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you get wiped?
No, I did not get wiped. I had to short circuit the machine though. There was a bottle on the.
Oh yeah. Okay. I guess that's what I meant. I thought you meant like Kara's stuff short circuited.
No.
Okay,
As
okay,
in,
okay.
Yeah. So like when it came down to that, that was the other moment that I had rewinded
Mm-hmm.
because I was pulling on the wrong wire like a fucking idiot.
That was a confusing moment, to be honest. Yeah.
And you didn't have a lot of time. So then I was like,
You're like, what the fuck do I do? You didn't think to like look all the way up to like
No.
the corner. Yeah.
no. And it pulls a lot of moments like that on you
It
where
does.
you don't quite know what your whole field of vision is. So you don't test it, but then you realize like, oh shit, I can look up and behind me.
Yeah.
And there's something there.
Yeah.
They hide it so well.
Yeah. I never really got upset at the game though. There were some parts where I was like, it was like, on the right stick or whatever, and it would say to like click it over in one direction, and I didn't exactly perfect, but I like got really close and it didn't count it, and I was like, eh. But other than that, the game never felt like it was screwing up. It always felt like this belongs in this scene.
Yeah. And I always felt that is that I screwed that up.
Exactly,
It
yeah.
wasn't janky, which is incredible to me.
Yeah.
That it's all based on subtle movements.
Yep.
And none of it was janky.
Yeah.
Like anytime it would be like open door,
Yeah.
like, and you
I
didn't
thought
get
I
that,
would get
like,
annoyed with that. I didn't.
like you have to like go to the side
you
and
go
then all the
out
way up.
and then around. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And like anytime I screwed something like that up, it was like, yep, that was on me. I know I didn't. Because you could feel when you didn't do it right.
Yeah.
Or like you would let go of it too soon.
And it was lenient enough. Yeah, it's just like the QuickTime events were a little bit more involved than a lot of QuickTime events are in some ways.
because
but
it made use of the touchpad, which was incredible.
But it felt right. Like this game didn't need more. And they did have moments where it was like Connor's chasing a deviant that's running away, like cop chase style.
Mm-hmm.
And that felt good too. But like the rest of the game never felt like, oh, I wish this had more.
Like I wish I was controlling more.
Yeah.
I never felt that either because it was so, you're so story driven
Yeah.
that when you're actually like button mashing and like doing really quick time events, like you don't care how it controls or anything because the story is so tense and you're in the moment and it captured that perfectly.
Yeah.
With just like, oh shit, like I don't even care how dumb this feels that all I'm doing is just clicking a button really fast.
Yeah.
Because this is a tense moment and I'm like, shit.
Yeah.
I gotta go, I gotta
Like
run.
You feel all the tension.
Yes.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Mm-hmm. So how did you, when you're in the basement,
Yep.
going through the investigation, like you're like, shit, I have 5 minutes and I gotta crack this case.
Yeah.
How did you crack the case?
In Zatlov's basement?
No, as Connor in the police basement.
I went and fixed up Simon. Mm-hmm. Did Simon die for you?
Yes.
Okay. So, because you could have saved him.
Yes. I played the other option where
you save him.
No, I played the other option where I never even found Simon. There is
Really?
an option when you're in the TV studio. There are 3 androids in the kitchen, and they just mention it in passing.
Mm-hmm.
And if you go into the kitchen, you're just like, which one of you saw something? Like there was no break-in. Like someone must have done something. And then you interrogate them. And then just based on like their movements and how they're reacting to when you're like, it's another interrogation scene with Connor.
Okay.
Like when you're interrogating them, like you have the like pressure level or like the stress level that you're trying to like put them under, but there's no level indicator because they're all androids. You don't know which one is the deviant.
With Connor?
Yes. There's 3 androids in the TV studio that were
Connor wasn't with me. Oh.
in the TV studio after when you're investigating.
Oh, okay.
There's 3 androids in there, and you interrogate them to be like, which one of you is deviant? One of you saw them,
Yep.
and one of you let them in. Who was it?
And the guy keeps like looking away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then, did you play that?
Yeah.
Okay, but you still found Simon on the roof?
He wasn't on the roof. Simon got shot in the studio where Marcus recorded his thing.
Okay, in mine, Simon got up to the roof, I saved him, and then I just like laid him on the roof. So there were because of that action, the broadcast like investigation with Connor, if you did the interrogation, you did not get to go to the roof. Like one of those were endpoints.
Interesting.
So whatever one you chose, do you go up to the roof? Do you go into the kitchen and interrogate?
Okay.
That's your endpoint.
Oh,
both
okay.
of them.
I definitely went and investigated on the roof with him, and I even did the interrogation. Yeah, so Simon died in the TV studio for me, and when I was in the basement, I went and I watched the iPad recording of Marcus giving his speech about androids for humanity and all that kind of stuff, and I just Connor mimicked his voice and spoke to Simon because Simon didn't have any eyes, and so he was like, Marcus, is that you? And then he just told me where Jericho was.
Okay.
Yeah.
What I had to do was I think you're going to think this one is really cool. When you were, and this is incredible to me that this thing that I found when I was investigating the house where the first murder victim with Connor, where the android went deviant and then like wrote "I am alive" with blood on the wall.
In Cyberlife Sands?
Yeah. In that one, I had gone into the bathroom and opened up the shower curtain. And in the shower curtain, there was a statue.
A religious offering?
Yeah, there was a religious offering.
Yeah.
So in the first scene of the interrogation, like when you're interrogating that android that you found in the attic, I had unlocked a speech option where I had like pressured him enough on the statue to be like, what is in the statue? Like, what is there? And he had said like the answer's inside. And then when I was playing back my memories, like when I was interrogating him about the statue, I found that little iPad thing and it played back, the answer is inside. And then I was like, oh my fucking God. So then I picked up the statue and broke it. And there was a coordinate for where Jericho is.
That's fucking awesome.
Yes.
What?
Yes. So just from pressuring enough in the interrogation at the very beginning of the game, I had an option to find Jericho.
That is so cool.
It was that to me was the moment that I was like, holy shit, this goes back so far.
Yeah.
Like these decisions and these just random like findings, they count.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Because otherwise I don't know what I would have done because I didn't have Marcus's voice. So I couldn't trick Simon because I had tried that.
Yeah. That is fucking weird.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there was coordinates for Jericho in that little statue.
That is so cool.
I know, right?
The craziest thing to me is like, I played the opening mission where you're Connor investigating the rooftop, like it looks like Simon, that whole like I got the girl on the roof, that opening scene. I played that twice and I chose separate options each time. And then you played it and all 3 times were totally different outcomes.
My ending for that scene was I tried to calm him down, and then when he said, I want the helicopters to go away and I want a car and I'll take the little girl with me, I said, that's not an option. And then as soon as I said that's not an option, he went from like all the way calm to totally unstable. And then he was going to like fall back with the little girl. And then as Connor. Like, I did the quick time event enough to run towards him and like push him off the edge. Or like, no, he had already fallen with her. Mm-hmm. He had taken the initiative to fall back, and he was taking the little girl with him.
Yep.
So I ran and I caught the little girl. Like, I had jumped to catch her and then throw her up. So she landed on the roof and was safe. And then I had fallen and died with him.
So for mine, I'll start with the first one I did, because I originally downloaded the free demo for the game before I bought it to make sure it was like a style I wanted, because his past game was like I didn't like the controls.
Heavy Rain.
It's called Beyond Two Souls with Willem Dafoe and Ellen Page.
Okay.
It's free this month. You don't have PS Plus. Anyway, I did that, and I played that through, and then when I bought the game, I just did the same thing again, because I was like, that was my playthrough. I wanted to do this. I wanted to replicate that and then continue the story. Mm-hmm. But then when I did it for our Shapeless video, it goes up on Thursdays. Check that out. I had enough information where I was able to talk him up to 100% confidence, and he just walked off the ledge and let the girl go. Like he was like, okay, I trust you, and then he was done. And then he let the little girl go and everything like that, and he was like, I'm sorry, I trust you. Got all the way up to 100%, and then the snipers iced him.
Nice.
As soon as he let her go.
Nice.
Yeah. Super cool.
Yeah, because I had his confidence all the way up. It was at 99, and then as soon as I told him he couldn't take the little girl, dropped all the way, and then he jumped with her. Yep. Immediately. There was no dialogue past that.
So that first one I did on my personal playthrough, I was able to approach enough and kind of get his confidence up, and then I rushed up and shoved him off the edge with my thing and protected the little girl. I didn't go off with him, and then as he fell, he shot me, and that Connor was done, and they brought in the next Connor.
I was so excited because I immediately loved Connor from the first mission, and I was like,
not? Connor Army. Hashtag Connor Army.
Hashtag Connor Army.
Let's get it trending, people.
We did that.
We did it, not Brian Deckert. We should have got him for the show.
We should have. You think we can get him?
God, I hope so.
Let's try it.
Brian, we love you.
We want you on. We want to discuss what it was like doing the mocap. We want to discuss the challenges of having to act for so many facial
animations and all that kind of stuff.
And we just want to talk about it with you.
Yeah. Seriously.
Anywho,
back into it.
I was so disappointed that Connor had died, but I was just like, oh, maybe that's everything that could have happened there. I did my best, and that's what happened.
I thought maybe he's not a main. Maybe this is just introducing you to the style of game this is going to be. Mm-hmm. But that he gets killed and he's done.
I didn't know he was a main character or anything.
Neither did I.
I was so excited when I saw another Connor model. I was so fucking excited.
Yep. His fucking jacket.
There's in your Amanda subconscious programming thing. I don't know if you explored that area at all.
Yeah, I did. There's graves.
Yeah, there's graves for the Connor model that
Isn't
died.
that awesome?
Yes.
And there's
so
one.
Cool.
There's one where you go up and you put your hand on it, and it scans it, and then it just kind of has the cutscene of him kind of pulling his hand away and looking at it a little frightened. And I never got to find out what that is. Did you? Don't tell me. That's a spoiler cast. Fuck.
It's a spoiler cast, Tory.
What is it?
What it is when you're talking to Elijah Kamsky at his house, right?
Yeah.
And he makes the comment of just, well, I always build a safety exit in all of my programs. When Amanda is, you're essentially dead. Mm-hmm. Amanda has torn you apart and you are dying, and you go into your subconscious because you're dying. You're crawling through the snow, and then you get that flashback of just because I had gone through the dialogue option and heard Elijah say, I always build a safety exit in my programs. Mm-hmm. I immediately knew what that was, because I had that cutscene of he touches it and he was just like, what the fuck was that? I was like, that's what it is. So I crawled towards it and I put my hand on it and I was immediately out.
Holy shit.
Yes.
I never even had that scene of him crawling like that.
That's amazing to me.
Yeah. That's fucking weird.
I don't even remember how it had happened, where I had gotten to that point, but that's what it was Amanda was essentially tearing you down, and you were dying in there, And if you didn't reach that in like 40 seconds, you were dead.
That is crazy.
So you had to get there in a time limit.
Yeah, I never even got to figure that out.
So I had to just know, like, that was my initial reaction of just like, I thought it would be the grave. I thought it would be the Connor grave. But then I walked past that first.
Yeah.
And I was just like, fuck it, try it. And then that's what it was.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
That's so cool.
Mm-hmm. It was incredible. It was the coolest moment there was. Or no, I know what it was.
What?
I believe it was at the end when I'm standing with Marcus because I'm deviant and like while he's giving his like final like speech to everyone. It's at the very end of the game. You're still like programmed essentially. You're not completely deviant. Like you are in there and you're like about to like Connor takes out a gun and I didn't know if he was going to shoot Marcus or shoot himself. Like if his programming was just saying like you're deviant, you got to end it. That's, I think, what it was. If I remember correctly.
I didn't have that either.
That's the scene that it was, is that Connor wasn't completely deviant and there was still that thing inside of him that was just...
Like the programming?
Yeah. Where he was going to like kill himself or kill Marcus. But I had gotten to that in time where like then like after he like pulls out the gun and I did that, then he just puts it back into his back pocket.
It's insane to me that I never saw that. Because that sounds like a relatively large scene.
Yeah.
And I didn't get any of that.
And that's what's so incredible.
Yeah.
Is that there are so many things that you could never find. And just the one that also got me was the robot Jesus scene where you are doing Marcus's first like street protest and you're just liberating all the androids going down the street.
Right.
And then suddenly you don't even have to touch them.
And they just start doing it.
You're just pointing at them and they just walk towards you and you amass this huge crowd.
Yep.
That
was a moment.
That was robot Jesus scene.
That was Jesus right there.
Yeah.
Like
that was some Jesus shit. But then I played Marcus as peaceful protest.
Me too. I went completely pacifist. No matter what they said, I was always like,
and North was always the worst.
She was like, we have to fight it with violence. I know. I was always like,
no, because in my mind, I was like, no, because as soon as we go violent, then the humans can be like, oh, look, this is what they want. It would be like some fucking terrorist
and
shit.
It was like, even when I was making the decisions in the game to like do the pacifist choice, I was always like, this is dumb. Like every time I made that decision, I was like, it's been fun, Marcus. But then like there was a part where like after the Jesus scene when the cops come and everything like that, and I was like, I'm still going to stand down. I'm not going to fight them and anything like that. And I think I should have died, but when you were breaking into Cyberlife to get parts, I saved that guard and I let him go.
Yep, that was the scene for me.
And then he sacrificed himself so that Marcus could live.
Yes, you were meant to die in that scene.
Yeah.
But if you saved John sacrificed
because it had that little like lock, and I was like, that was like 7 chapters ago.
Yeah.
That was so cool.
Yes, that to me was the coolest one, where it was just like, oh shit. Any decision I make in passing, that has like immediate effects.
That will like butterfly, like earthquake out, and you will feel the effects of that way later in the game at parts that like
are dire. Like you're in dire straits. You would like Marcus would have
died at that point. Like
yes,
because I saw then in the branch where it's like John sacrificed himself or whatever, and then there was like the locked part underneath it, and I was like, the flow chart tells me like there's pretty much 2 options. Marcus dies right there because there was nothing after that.
Mm-hmm.
It was
so it's either Marcus dies or
Marcus,
John sacrifices himself.
It's mind-boggling. So yeah, so Marcus storyline, you went full pacifist.
I went full pacifist because
I figured you would.
I hated North, and I didn't want it because they had, which I loved, news programs in the game.
Yeah.
And like there was one that was like always painting androids as like, it was basically the Fox News of just like, androids are dangerous and here's why. Yeah. And I didn't want them to be able to paint them as like androids are doing harm.
And then
because then they'd get shut down immediately.
With the choices that we made, we both saw the same things where it was like, no, like the cops just opened fired on them. Like they're just trying to be human. Like,
yep, I got public opinion totally on my side.
Yep, 100%.
So I could like, because that was my thought process. It didn't happen, but what I had thought was if I get enough public opinion and if I'm like standing out in the streets and the cops are just opening fire on me, what will happen is that the humans will come around and like create a barricade or something so that they won't shoot, because they wouldn't shoot humans to get to androids.
Yeah.
So I thought the humans would join in,
Would you? Yeah, that would have been cool too.
but they didn't
Right. Yeah. Of
because
course.
they're humans.
I was, to be honest, like my Marcus character, when it started getting to like the very grandiose part of his storyline, I was very much modeling my decisions after. It's gonna sound super dumb, but Martin Luther King.
Yeah, where it was,
I was very much like looking back to that movement and like, what did he do?
and that's what the game
What
is
was he saying?
based
What did
on,
I learn
heavily.
about? Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Like, I think that's what you're supposed to be able to do is like, it's, and they even bring it up. Like, that one was a bit heavy handed of just like, okay, I see exactly what this is. But it wasn't like, oh my God, civil rights was forever ago. Because this shit, like, this still happens to black people.
It still happens. Yeah,
well,
it just
exactly.
happens to, it's just still a major thing. And
Yes, race is still a huge issue.
Right.
And the fact that they played on that as like in 2038, they're just like, they used to fight over skin color and like they used to fight over religions and everything. But now with androids, like this is something new. It's the same movement in a new skin, so to speak.
And we already said it, but like shout out to Jesse Williams who did Marcus.
Every actor did such an incredible job.
And of course Valerie Curry who did Carl, like incredible jobs on that. So for the Marcus playthrough, when it came to the final part, you're kind of like you're all in that barricaded area and stuff like that, and you have to go out and meet the FBI guy. Mm-hmm. Did you take the deal?
No.
Okay, I didn't take the deal either.
I didn't take the
that
deal.
dude was shifty as hell from the beginning. They made him a bad guy.
Yeah.
Very clearly. But then you go back and they come in with, they have like the flashbangs and stuff like that. And then you kind of have like your one last stand moment. What did you do?
I sang.
I sang too.
Yeah, because I wanted it because it was just beautiful.
Yeah.
And I knew that like with the people I had left, like it would be Marcus singing and then it would
A chorus of angels would come up.
I knew exactly what they were going to do with just like this beautiful backing chorus. And I was just like, I need that moment. And it was such like, it was one of those moments where I got chills.
Yeah, me too.
I genuinely got like my heart dropped. And,
Absolutely.
like I got chills and I could feel it in my spine of just like, this is such a just fragile moment right here.
Yeah, it was like a last stand, like,
we are alive.
It was
like,
kind of that moment, like when that decision came up and I saw Sing. It was like that. What binds humans type of thing that like I saw that and I was and like I don't even remember what the other options. I think one was like maybe sit down or something like that. But like my finger just went and clicked it immediately and I was like that's what I want them to do right now. Mm-hmm. It just came out of me. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
And it's such a, I thought it was such a humanizing thing.
So humanizing.
Because then it was, androids can, like it's partaking in art. It's partaking in like emotion.
Yeah.
Like it's
Yep.
totally like a last stand of just like,
it was,
we're giving all of our emotions to you right now.
and to me it was like a greater version of when Carl was like, paint something. No. Don't recreate something you saw. Like, yes, you can paint that thing perfectly. Close your eyes. Paint something you've never seen before.
What was drawn for you?
It was like a sort of abstract. It was similar to Carl's style of painting, and it was like a Marcus-esque face.
Okay.
Kind of thing.
I just got a big dick on mine.
Are you serious?
No. It's just like a crude penis drawing. Can you imagine?
That was another one of those like moments.
Beautiful, sensitive moment.
And like we kind of talked about this earlier, and I don't want to linger on this for too long, but like I have an idea of like I kind of want to make a video talking about Detroit Become Human as like a video essay style of how it's a game of moments. If you want to see that, let us know. I would really appreciate that. But yeah, so what characters did you lose?
I lost Kara, and that's it.
Okay, so we had the same thing for that.
Yeah.
Okay.
What was your relationship like with Hank?
I tried to keep it good. I was kind of always on Hank's side, and whenever I would touch in with
Did you save Hank when he was on the roof? Or did you chase
That didn't
the
happen to
deviant?
me in the roof.
Oh.
That happened to me. The deviant ran out into the hallway where we came in, like where you know what I'm talking about. Into the hallway where you entered the room originally, and then he kills, grabs the rifle, turns around.
Oh, no, I'm talking about when you're chasing the deviant that had the pigeons.
Oh no, I saved him then.
Okay, so
Yeah. I saved him at that point. I thought you meant on the roof of the TV
Oh,
building.
no. Easily mistakable, though.
Yeah. Yeah. When I was in that, I saved him on the roof of the pigeon thing, and then that big chase scene, which was really cool. And then I also saved him at the scene where the deviant in the TV news studio turned around and shot everything.
Okay.
What about you?
I saved Hank on the roof, and then I tried to save him in the hallway just to see the other ending, and Connor died. When the deviant was shooting.
Yeah.
Yeah, Connor died in that one.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I didn't keep that ending though.
Oh, well, he didn't die. It was a second Connor. Like another Connor model was issued back.
Okay, yeah.
And then it's the same.
I figured they would issue another one, but I was just like, wait,
You were
I didn't
attached to that Connor.
I didn't get to go on the roof. Like I didn't know this would end.
Okay.
But then at the end, like, so were you friends with Hank? Like, did it say you guys were friends on that white bar?
I hopped around a lot with that.
Okay.
Because in that thing, a lot of the dialogue decisions, like a lot of times the one word or the one or two word thing it gives you to like say
Didn't really
quite, like, I was like, oh, I'll say this, and then it ended up being like really aggressive and mean, and then Hank would go down and I'd be like, oh man, I didn't think that's what he was gonna say. Like,
Yeah, no, there were
a couple times where that happened.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I'll give them a huge applause where that only happened to me twice.
Yeah.
Like for everything where it's just one word things throughout the entire game, and for me to only have confusion twice,
Yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah. But yes, I was like warm with Hank.
Okay, I was friends with him pretty much the entire time.
Okay.
So I was his close, good personal friend.
Okay.
And with Connor's ending where he goes to the CyberLife
Headquarters.
plant.
Yep.
And then there's another Connor model that
Yeah.
like had
Yeah.
kidnapped Hank.
Yep.
How did that go down for you?
Hank died.
Yeah. So what I had done is I continued the transfer.
Me too. Yeah.
Because I wanted to, like, Hank's kind of at the end of his rope.
Yeah.
So, but there was a really touching moment for me because we were friends.
Yeah.
That Hank was like, oh, I'm really gonna miss you. Like like you were a good friend. Like I'm really gonna miss you.
As he died. So
As he died, he said, like, I'm gonna miss you, Connor.
holy shit. Because for me, what happened was I continued the transfer. The other deviant came up, shot my Connor. I fell on the ground, and then he got up and was like about to execute me, and it was like, any last words? And then I pulled out the gun from behind me and fucking capped him.
Oh, really? Okay, I did something that I think
My Connor almost died at that moment too, because I was like late on the quick times.
So in that moment, which I thought was awesome, and when he was like, any last words, I grabbed his arm and like transferred my like memories to him.
Oh, cool.
So that way when like he shot the Connor model that I was in, like
You became him?
I became him because I had like transferred.
What?
So this is what I thought. I thought that it was just like, like when the deviants touch each other, they can like communicate and like relay feelings with each other. So I thought I had basically just given him my story and just been like, you have to continue, like, this is where I'm at. You have to continue this. Like, you're getting a rush of emotions right now.
Yeah.
So then I had like transferred my memories to him, and then that Connor model died, and then he was just like, oh my God, what the fuck? And then he ran up to Hank because he had the memories of us being friends.
Yeah.
At least I thought that's what it was. What it
no.
actually was, when I had like gone back and like read the flow chart at the very end of the game for that, he didn't transfer memories. When I grabbed his arms, it said in the little like flowchart thing, it said swapped consciences.
Holy shit.
So I didn't transfer memories. I went into his body and transferred him into the body that died right then.
That's fucking crazy.
So he didn't just he swapped consciences. So it was still
he killed himself.
That's what made me feel better about that scene was I was the same Connor model, but I basically just repaired myself. I swapped consciousness completely. So it wasn't a new model. It was just basically, same Connor, but I stole your body.
That's crazy.
Yes.
That's so cool.
I loved that. I loved being, because I thought I just swapped memories, which was kind of like, but Connor still died. But then that made me feel so much better.
Yeah.
That evil Connor died.
That's so cool. God.
And
okay.
all the outcomes in that scene that could have been were so incredible because like at the end I had like a really funny string of QuickTime events like at such a pivotal moment. Like I'm good at QuickTime events. I didn't mess up a single one throughout the entire game. And then it was like 2 a.m, the last night I was playing, where like what little androids you have left in like your little bunker, when they finally storm in and they start just fucking killing everyone. I was so tired that I messed up every single QuickTime event during that whole entire scene where Marcus is meant to be like saving androids left
Kill
and
them all.
right. Every single one of them died. Like there were only like 5 androids left because I messed up every QuickTime event where I was supposed to save them. So Marcus ended up being shot like 9 times. And then like all these androids, like I had to watch all of them die.
I want to know, to me, this was one of the absolute coolest things in the entire game, which is how even when you boot up the game, the opening menu is part of the game.
Yes.
So Chloe, when it's like, hi, the company that created me, CyberLife, would like to have a survey to whatever.
That
and
was
then, And then
creepy.
it starts out and I was like, would you have sexual relations with an android?
Fuck yeah.
I said yes.
Yeah.
And then it was like, and then it gets like 4 questions in, and then it's like, do you believe in God? And it was like,
gets real deep.
and it's like 11 questions or something like that. But it's like, it's similar to like how if it's like a website you go to or something like that, where it's like, hey, do you want to take a survey and see how we're doing? Except for it was the menu of the game asking you. It was like part of the game.
Yeah.
Which is insane. And every time further on when you boot up the game, Chloe continues that, like, if you notice it, like, you know, the second time I booted up, that's when I got the, hey, would you like to answer some questions for CyberLife? And then the third time I booted it up, instead of Chloe like kind of smiling and looking at me, essentially, she kind of was just like glancing around and like looking nervous.
Yep.
And that's and because like I was getting into the part where people were like, Marcus was starting to turn other people deviant to join his movement and stuff like that.
And she's seeing that
And she was seeing that happen and then started getting nervous in the fucking menus.
Yes. And
which
you
is
can
crazy.
clearly see it. She's no longer looking you in the eye. I had left it open while I was making dinner one night.
Yeah.
Like I just left it on the main menu because I was unsuspecting.
Yeah.
And then Chloe said the creepiest thing.
What?
She was just like, I hope I'm not being too personal here, but the decor in your home, it's just so you. It's just so fitting. Like,
That's so fucking
like
weird.
it's making it seem like she can see into what you're doing, and it was so scary. Like I expected her to be like, "Are you almost done cooking?" And
the actress they picked to play Chloe was perfect. Like,
did you? Speaking of Chloe,
yeah,
at the very end of the game, once you beat it, you can set her free.
yeah,
Did you set her free?
Yep.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
okay. I figured you did too. Yeah, because
No, you're stuck with me.
you're like, nah, I'm keeping you. So bouncing off the Chloe thing, when you go to Kamsky's
I
house,
was just gonna say that.
yeah, what did you do?
I didn't shoot.
Me either.
I could not shoot. And I feel like this is what would have happened because I found that diary in the pigeon home.
Yep.
Where it's all deciphered.
Yep.
And nothing in the game ever led me to like, where can I get these fucking answers? Like, where's the encryption?
You thought she could do it.
No. I thought like after doing it, I was like, oh shit. Had I shot her, Kamsky would have probably given me like a code or something that would have been able to decipher that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're right. He probably would have. But fucking...
That's where I'm thinking that would have come in.
Yeah. And when I did that, I thought that Hank was going to really hate me after that. I thought he was going to be like, why the fuck didn't you shoot her? Like, but because everything...
He was progressively more on the android side.
Yeah, but in the beginning, when you're first learning about him by searching his desk and stuff, he has like anti-android protest stuff and all that. And like, I thought he was going to like really not trust me.
Plus, going off of like on Hank's desk, like when you're investigating it, how cute was that conversation after where Connor's just trying to make friends?
I know. Yeah.
So you like Knights of the Heavy Metal?
Yeah.
I don't particularly know them, but I'd love to try.
Yeah.
And he's just like trying to make conversation.
I know. I'll just say it. Connor's cute. All right.
He's cute. He's adorable.
He's cute as fuck.
He's so cute. And then just that one dialogue option where it's like, I like dogs. Do you have a dog? And he just says it exactly like that. He's just like nonchalant.
Yeah.
Like, he's like trying to be like casual, but it's just so forced to just, I like dogs.
Yeah. It's, oh my God.
Connor, you're so cute.
So good. So good.
Let's see what else I had here. Just because the relationship with Hank was one of my favorite parts of the game, where it was you can completely change this person.
I was really trying. That was the only part where I was really struggling with the dialogue issue, or with like the dialogue choice, where like I thought I was saying one thing, but I ended up not saying that. That happened to me like quite a few times where I was like, oh man. He was hard to read though. I think intentionally.
Yes, absolutely.
His character was like sad.
Yeah. Oh my God.
He was sad, and he was really hard to read, and in an intentional way that was like I was trying to relate to him, and I just kept making him more upset. Like, hey, I saw something. Was that your son? And then as soon as I said it, like I saw the arrow go down. I was like,
fuck.
Why the fuck did I ask him about his dead son? Like I clearly knew that. I didn't need to ask him.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. I did the same thing where it was just like, I realized as soon as I said it, I was like, wait, no one wants to talk about their dead child. Why the fuck did I do that?
I know.
Here's what I want to end with.
Yeah.
Because we're getting about that time. This is what I want to end off with, because we never got a definitive answer, and this is what kind of killed me.
Okay.
What do you think RA9 is?
Oh, man.
Because there's all those everywhere you go as Connor, you find scratchings and like RA9 just written everywhere.
Oh man. God, we really don't even get like much hints into that.
No.
I think two things. There's the more obvious kind of thing, and then there's what I actually think it is. If I'm gonna get like really deep and like, oh, didn't really hint at it, but this is what I think it is. I think RA9 is the sliver of code that allows androids to go deviant.
Okay.
What about you?
I kind of under the same thing. I didn't really think RA9 was Marcus. I didn't think RA9 was a model.
Yeah.
However, I saw something that was really interesting where it kind of put the things together, where it was Connor is a model like
RK800.
Yeah, Connor is a model R.
Yep.
Marcus is a model R, and Kara is a model A.
Yeah.
So there's like the R and the A, and like it combine them all,
right,
you get RA9.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
But what I thought was RA9 is like a genetic mutation along those same lines.
Yeah.
Like some genetic deficiency built within their code that breaks down, like it's almost like a virus. Like I think RA9 was a literal virus that they like get flashes of, and for some reason like it makes them like insane. Like it acts like a virus where it infects them and it makes them sick.
Do you think
essentially?
It's like
I think it had something to do with the blue blood.
Do you mean sick in a bad way?
Like kind of like they get almost physically and emotionally sick.
Okay.
Like the ones who are really affected by it, you see it like just scraped into walls. Like they were so in pain and so obsessed with this like thing flashing in their brain that they just needed to like either like sometimes like, you know, like completely destroy their own bodies to write RA9.
Yeah, that's an interesting take on it. I really didn't take that at all. I really did think it was like, because you do, like, Luther tells the story of, like, they say RA9 was the first one to go deviant or something like that, which I kind of was like, that's kind of a myth story. I think RA9, like, I think it has something to do with the first deviants, and it obviously has something to do with deviancy. Like, that's, no one's debating that, but, like, as far as, when you say virus, I was thinking more like a computer virus, which I guess you kind of, they're kind
of kind of similar.
Yeah.
I you know, like in their case, it would be like a computer virus, but I think it has really humanizing effects on them where it deteriorates their brain.
That's exactly what I think it is. I think it is the humanizing code, the humanizing gene, if you will, because their genes are made up of coding, essentially. Like what they do, what they say, how they act, that's all made up of coding. And I do think that RA9 was like the virus sliver of code that goes in, and that's what unlocks, like, it's like the thing that when untapped, that's what gives them enough humanity to be accepted into homes, to be the cook and all that kind of stuff. But I think when tapped into, that's what causes the full, like, we are humans deviancy. Exactly.
I thought that same thing of there needs to be, like, when they built these machines, you need to have, for a human to trust it, they have to look like you, they have to talk like you, they have to in some capacity, they have to operate like a human. So they had to give it some form of human conscious to be accepted into a home.
Yeah.
And then that can just run wild and it can infect.
It's almost like, it's like they made them to be full humans and then they put like a coding lock on like, you guys are humans, but here's all you can see for now. It's like this little box of like, here's all you can
break down that box when you go deviant.
You quite literally beat down that box. And like, I'm like kind of just, you really smash that box good. You really give it to it. I'm just kind of hitting this realization now of like, that is like, I wonder if they were just built by Kamsky with like full humanity built into them. And then CyberLife puts a restriction on it that's like, this is all you can...
Because he's a fucking sociopath.
I think he always wanted it to be... He always wanted them to be the next evolution of humans.
Yeah, he's a fucking sociopath.
Oh, he absolutely is. He's crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. And just that, like, I call this the Kamsky test, and he pulled out a gun, and I was like, fuck, I know exactly where
I knew exactly where that was going to go, yeah. And also, shout out to Kara's theme. One of the best pieces of video game music I've ever heard.
I think the same for Connor's theme.
Oh, just all the music in the game. Yeah. Let's fucking...
The music in the game. Honestly, we can't even, like, really dive deep into it necessarily.
Yeah.
But everything aesthetically and sonically about that game was perfect.
Everything about the game, kind of, yeah.
Everything about that game was to a T perfect in my eyes.
Yep.
Like the absolutely stunning visuals where it could be the most you're walking through a park, but how the camera operates when you hit certain places, it's like all of a sudden you're up here now, and then all of a sudden you're over here.
Yeah.
They give you the most
organically cinematic, yeah.
Yes, and it's gorgeous. I think that's what communicates, like, oh my God, like I feel like I'm playing more than a video game right now.
Yeah, it really does feel like something. Like it might be in my eyes like a perfect game for what it set out to do. Like it might just be. I can't think of anything I'd change, and I just like you finished the game last night. And you brought it back to me, and like I can't wait to like hop into it again and like intentionally make decisions that I kind of don't want to make because I need to see what that story is going to do.
Yeah.
It's insane. Like
groundbreaking shit.
Seriously, like I want to give like a sincere thank you to everyone at Quantic Dream for taking the time, energy, effort to put into those little moments, to everything, every little detail you put into the game. Thank you. Because although it might go unappreciated by some people, and some people might, why are
Brush it
games
off
trying to
as-
be music, or why are games trying to be movies and all that? Like, this is
I don't care what any review
astounding
says.
achievement.
I don't give a fuck what any review says. That was like the crown pinnacle jewel of what games can accomplish.
I agree. It's incredible what they did. I like I feel like we've talked about like so much, and I'm sure this won't be the last you hear about Detroit stuff coming up on Shapeless and all that kind of stuff. But like, what a game! What an achievement!
I can't think of anything other to say than just well done to everyone. I want to, like you said, I want to personally thank everyone who worked on that game. It's incredible. It truly was like a very moving experience.
Yeah, like so much emotional impact coming from like the stigma of like video games is like, oh, it's just a video game or whatever. Like, this is a statement. This is an impact. This is a humanizing story that no matter who you are, you can connect to this.
And you can fucking get your grandma to watch you play.
Yeah,
And she will love it.
it's incredible, and I recommend everyone tries it out. If you got to the end of this, you've already played it, presumably.
Hopefully.
Yeah, but I guess thanks for sticking with us through this spoiler cast. We jumped around a lot. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope seriously, let us know in the comments what you did. Like, if you got something completely different.
Yes.
If you have like a theory about what RA9 is, if you
I want to get some Detroit shit like
let's get
moving.
some theories going in the comments. Me and Tyler will both be active down in the comments answering your questions and stuff like that. Maybe we'll do like a follow up to this where we talk about something. It depends on what you want to see.
Stay around for the Detroit playthrough that you and Tay are doing.
Yeah,
to see what you guys get.
Yeah, and just seriously, thanks for watching, and we hope you enjoyed it. Let us know what you think. You can find us both on Twitter. That'll be in the description below. And yeah, what a game.
Thank you so much.